Pennsylvania. Give it up for Brittany Alexis, everybody! Yes, thank you. How's it going, guys? Oh man, I am so excited to be here. I've never been in Akron before, and I've never been to the Funny Stop, so this is amazing. I love it. This is the closest I've ever performed to a Dollar General. Performing next to businesses that know how to stay in business, right? Well, I did a show at a graveyard 2 weeks ago, man. They invited me, but you guys are a lot livelier. A lot more into it. I am Brittany Alexis, and I do always like to start off with a disclaimer. And that is, if you heard my name, Brittany Alexis, and you thought that I was going to be a white woman, gotcha. I've been catfishing jobs with my name since 1992, baby. It's great. I know most of you can tell I'm a black woman because you're looking at me. At least I hope so. But I still like to say it out loud because I am an ally to the people that don't see color. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't always used to be. I'll admit that. I didn't. I used to think that people said that were liberals that got caught discriminating. But I was wrong. And I realized that when I moved to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I saw how many of them drove through solid red lights. And I was like, maybe they really don't see it. Playing with their lives. They might be telling the truth. So I have repented of my ways. But I get it. You know, Brittany Alexis has connotations, right? Like, she sounds like a woman who has a coffee mug that says coffee on the side. Like, she knows her way around the TJ Maxx. You know, the question with Brittany Alexis is never if she has a love, live, laugh wall decor. It's how many? 3. Brittany Alexis sounds like your bully from high school that posts cryptic messages on Facebook, like making moves in silence. And then 5 years and a Netflix documentary later, you learn that those moves were just hey girly text for her pyramid scheme. So, I get it. I do. And then I'm doubling down on it because I look like I have a lot of Kohl's cash. I don't know why that joke works. Never fails. It's a visual joke, though. I do like to engage the senses of comedy. You can actually close your eyes for this next one because even my voice gets in on it. Like, I sound like someone whose favorite Jay-Z, Kanye West song has to be Brothers in Paris. Brothers in Paris. Emphasis on the hard R. You know, like, I sound like a therapist that's about to tell a black child to stand up to their parents. So, I know what I sound like. I'm telling you this so you know I'm also aware that my overall vibe is the edgy youth minister's wife. Got a mirror from Kohl's, so I'm seeing it, all right? A little bit about me. I'm from a small town in Virginia, originally. I used to ask if anyone in the audience was from a small town, and then I did a show in Mingo Junction, Ohio, and they said no, so stopped asking. My town was so small that when COVID hit, they taught us how to social distance by putting up signs that said, keep 1 cow width apart. And we knew exactly how far that was. It was great. We didn't have deer crossings in my town. We had John Deere tractor crossings. Yeah, the deer crossings were just called dinner. All right, some of you hated that joke. I hated the dinner, so we're even. We are. So yeah, that's where I was from. So imagine how shocked I was when I found out we had a gang problem in my town. I was like, we don't even have city blocks, and how are you boys getting down? Who are you repping for, Ricky? The cornfield? I'm kidding. It was the Confederacy. I lived off Robert E. Lee Boulevard, so I knew I'd run into like 1 or 2 hoods, man. Let's be for real. I didn't know. I realized there were a lot of signs I missed. Because, like, for instance, we had a lot of beef in my town, but I always thought that was just because of the cows. It's a dumb joke. I'll admit that. But no, I found out because I accidentally dated a gang member for 2 years. You know, some of you aren't believing me. I was 16, never had a boyfriend before. I was homeschooled. And at that point in my life, the only gangsters I'd ever seen, you know, talked out of the side of their mouths and said stuff like, "Fuck shit." So how was I supposed to know? Like, he never called me his date. How was I supposed to know? The prosecutor, on the other hand, yeah, she knew. She did. But yeah, I've never had a boyfriend, and in my defense, I just thought he had a tight-knit group of friends with the same favorite color and friendship face tattoos. It was that and some other things. Like, there were signs I missed. Like, I remember one day after school, they came over to my house, and him and his friends were talking about this essay that they needed to finish off. And I also hated how they worded that. I was like, if you boys use grammar like that on your paper, you're gonna get an F. They got an A, as in arrested, so yeah, got him. My ex was an MMA fighter, so he did like mixed martial arts, and they would do sparring sessions, like practice sessions. I remember one time after a practice session, he called me and told me that he got beat up by 10 guys, and he was really badly hurt. And I didn't know anything about gang initiations at the time, so I was so mad at the dojo. I called him up and I gave him a piece of my mind. I was like, how can you let your star athlete get hurt during a training session? And then about 6 months after trial, I woke up out of a deep sleep. I was like, you know what? He was probably lying about that. Learn to trust my gut a little bit more. I did. One thing I used to struggle with a lot was confidence. And I think that put me in some situations that I didn't always like. I used to ask audiences if anyone out there used to struggle with confidence, but then no one would answer. So I stopped asking. But I did. I used to struggle with confidence, and so what I did is I studied groups of confident people to see what they had in common, and I'll share a couple of them with you. The first group of confident people I studied were West Virginians. It's not the punchline. Wait a minute. Back up. West Virginians that identify as Confederates by heritage. Because I don't know how much you guys know about West Virginia, but it was founded in 1863. The slogan is "Mountaineers are always free," and it was specifically founded because they did not want to separate from the U.S. with the rest of Virginia, which you can kind of tell if you listen to the name West Virginia, because it sounds like a place that was named in a hurry. All right, I'll admit that joke is a slow burn, much like Sherman's March to the Sea. What, is it too soon, Ohio? Is it too soon for the 1863 chip? I'll take it further. Like, with the War of 1812, is that better for you? You go back. I'll move on. The last group of confident people I studied was whoever the graphic design team for the KKK's website was. Bro, let me tell you, they felt so good about it. They felt like Justin Timberlake about his beatboxing career. Like, they felt like I did when I wore business casual to the club in 2012. Like, I know all of it. All right. I don't mind telling you they have a website, because if you can be indoctrinated by something that was clearly made in Microsoft Paint in 1987, I hate to tell you, you just don't like that. But it's an interesting site. I'd say check it out. Don't do that. Not because of the racism. It's because of the FBI. It's up on a list. But I did check it out, and what I noticed was that they had their events publicly listed. I was like, what is the KKK publicly getting into? And it was barbecues, lots of them. Which I get. Who doesn't love a good barbecue? But what they said behind every single one was whites only. And I just loved that the KKK was so confident in their barbecue that they didn't think that being the KKK was enough of a deterrent for minorities. Like, there's some open-minded black men just searching the net looking for barbecues, and he comes across the KKK website, and it's like, look, me and Earl don't have to agree on everything. We do agree on the power of a good rib. I'm Brittany Alexis, you guys have been amazing.